Welcome to the Sheepless Life podcast. We are your hosts, Ivonne Delaflor
and Séverine Naessens, and we are the founders of the Sheepless Life Academy. Join us at sheeplesslife.com for a free and exclusive masterclass on sheepless living.
We created this podcast for women like you, who are ready and eager to live and lead without the herd mentality.
Women who are ready to be, not who your parents told you to be.
Not who the system expects you to be.
Not who the media wants you to be.
But who you can truly become.
So relax, step out of the herd for a moment.
Grab something to sip on and have a pencil at hand just in case you feel the urge to take some notes.
Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're tuning into this podcast, the Sheepless Life podcast, edition 46 already. And today we are going to talk about money. So let's get this on the road. Here is from this side of the microphone, Séverine Naessens from Cancun. And on the other side, all the way up in, sunny Vegas today, is Ivonne Delaflor. Hi, Ivonne.
Hi, everyone. Today we're talking about $1 million. And what better place for me to transmit than Vegas, that there's a lot of money, a lot of $1 million bet every day, lost or won or win every day.
Absolutely.
I also, if I had $1 million, I will hire a grammar teacher to tell me how to spell won and win. Anyways, how to conjugate the verbs.
That's always, education's always a good investment. So that could be on top of our list.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to talk about today on this podcast is to take a look at the dream that many have of getting $1 million, and then what? Because once you get that, once you reach that goal, what would you do with that $1 million and what not to do with the $1 million? Because obviously there's plenty of mistakes that we can make when we get a big chunk of money, be it 100,000, $1 million, it doesn't really matter how much. But oftentimes when we get money into our hands, we've been waiting for it for a long time. We've been working hard for it to receive it. And once we get it, oftentimes we go out and spend it the wrong way. And then we end up broke again. So what we want to do today is take a look at what would you do with $1 million. And Yvonne, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and you said you have a couple of advices of what not to do.
Well, what will, just because everybody will say immediately what will they do with $1 million, and if they have $1 million with $10 million, if they have $10 million with $1 billion. But I want to start with what not to do. And the first one is not spending immediately the money when you think you have a lot. So to learn to be resourceful with money is also to match resourcefulness with emotional intelligence, with the ability to not to withhold, but to master the art of delayed gratification. If we want to grow in abundance and money and investments and just personal, internal and external growth, which money shows us a lot where we are at in life, in many areas. Not because money is, money really is a great teacher. But I will first start with that. Understand that when you have money, it's not to spend it immediately. It's actually a great sign to master delayed gratification before anything else. So your turn.
Thank you. I think it's a very wise way to approach the money, because it's a complete concept of wealth. It's a mindset on how to use your money wisely, on not spending it and just throwing it out the window as you wish. Because many times you ask, what would you do with $1 million? Oh, would I buy a house and a car and this and that? I did a little exercise with some people I have close to me, and was very happy to learn and very grateful to learn that the first thing that they would do is take a good look at investments on a long-term solution. And that is one of the things.
Wow, you have good friends.
Sorry?
You have good friends. Let me tell you, you have really good friends. Those good friends you want to hang out with. Because I used to be with very wonderful people. And I'm with wonderful people always. But when I used to be in a very, different masterminds, and I used to be in this group of a mastermind where the first thing you will do with money was spend it. Make sure you get the car, you get the thing, you get the shoe, you get the purse, and that you post it on Facebook.
I know.
Make sure. And at the end of the year, make sure that you don't tell people you are broke, you owe the IRS, and where is the money to invest in the things that you really want. So carry on. You have good friends.
Yes. Well, the thing is that I was happy to learn that the folks around me would, and including myself, would look for long-term investments so that the money can work for you. That's the wise thing that the millionaires do, is have their money work for them so that they can dedicate time to do philanthropy, dedicate time to their families, dedicate time to education of themselves and others. So I think that investing on a long-term solution is a wise step to take, and to put the money to work so that instead of depleting the money, it keeps multiplying and it keeps growing.
Exactly, because what you are saying, it's matching with the law of compound interest. When you either, if you invest or you do not invest, the universal law of compound interest is going to always work, both for debt and for.
Yes, it works both ways. Absolutely. What else would you do? What else would you do with $1 million, Ivonne?
Can you hear me? I think that we have something in the audio.
Yes, I can hear you well. I can hear you well.
All right, wonderful. So what else will I do? Exactly that. I'm just going to say the things that I wouldn't do. I learned because, the first time I did $1 million, the $1 million was already spent before I made it. So I wouldn't go into my mind to do the things with the money I haven't earned yet until I haven't grown it, I haven't saved it, and I haven't invested it. So that's something that I wouldn't do. That's what will I do with $1 million? First, also the polarity of it is I wouldn't imagine spending it before earning it.
Oof.
So in a way, with that $1 million, I will just nurture and nourish it and take care of its growth, thinking always of the universal law of cause.
Yes.
Effect.
Absolutely. One of the other things, and
with $1 million, with $1, we have like a delay. This is fun. We're cheap, so we can talk over each other.
Yes, with whatever amount of money it is, we want to make sure we spend it wisely and we don't spend it before we get it. It's a tough lesson learned in real life. I have committed the mistake of spending the money before I was actually making it. So been there, done that, learned the lesson, and I will make sure that in the future things are differently. One of the other things that I came across, and it's something that we are very keen on in my environment here, is to look for a project so that we can donate, do some philanthropy, do something, give back, pay it forward. So find a project that you could actually not spend your money, but invest your money into a project that will benefit those who need it most, or benefit nature. Look for a project of your interest so that you can actually pay it forward, and that way help others that are not as fortunate as you are. That's one of the other things that I would recommend, and I'm really looking forward to doing once I get my $1 million in my bank account, is to look for a project that moves me, a project that I know that we can make a difference and help. How about you?
Well, one of the things with money, as with everything that you earn by the source of your work, is never think that it's always going to last. Really be aware of the temporality of things that are like money things. If you put your worth attached to money, you will probably have a lot of experiences, hard knocks in life. If your worth is attached to money, again, I'm going to repeat it, you will have a lot of hard knocks in the school of life, which they are not bad, they're just experiences.
Yes.
But make sure, that's why what you said about philanthropy, make sure you are actually benefiting others, benefiting yourself, investing, not retaining, not going into greed, and be grateful for what you are growing. Gratitude attracts the law of appreciation, which makes the money, the work, the service render appreciate and grow. When you forget about gratitude, greed occupies the space where gratitude once was there. And when greed takes over, lack consciousness takes over, and the bankruptcy is not about money anymore. It's a bankruptcy of your soul. Mm-hmm. So be very wise. And I want to share a quote of one of the mentors that I had. He's not my mentor anymore, but once you have a mentor, always a mentor. You know, anytime that someone teaches you something, as long as the teaching goes with you in your life, the teaching becomes fresh. Mm-hmm. And this was Mr. Kevin Naessens. And Mr. Kevin Naessens said, money is an accelerator only. It takes you faster where you were already going. Think about that for a moment. So if you were headed to bankruptcy, you're going there faster. If you are headed to dark moments, addictions, alcohol, party and wasting, you are just going to get faster. If you were going to grow experiences, invest in your children, protect your marriage, invest in a house, you will get there faster. So what would you do with $1 million? My recommendation is the first thing is to think, to feel, to be aware that money, like Mr. Kevin Naessens says, is an acceleration. It will take you faster where you were already going. That's my last conversation of today.
Thank you, Ivonne. I think it is indeed a matter of consciousness, being conscious about spending, being conscious about investing, being conscious about what you do with the money, because as they say, money is energy as well. So you wanna spend it wisely on things that will benefit yourself and your family and also others. Always share. I think I strongly believe that the more we do, the more we serve, the more we help others, the better things that will be coming our way as a natural cause and effect. So let us know what you would do with $1 million, or if you've already had them, what did you do and did they last? Because oftentimes you see people winning the lottery, plenty of money, and they go through it. They burn through their money a lot faster than it took them to get there. So let us know. Shout out to all of those listening to us live every single week. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And drop us a message on Facebook, on Instagram, on Spreaker, on iTunes, on Spotify, wherever it is you're tuning into to our podcast, and let us know what would you do with $1 million. Thank you so much for listening, and we will hear you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Subscribe to this weekly podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Share your thoughts with us on Facebook.com/Sheepless Life Academy and learn firsthand how to live a sheepless life with Ivonne and receive an exclusive in-depth masterclass at sheeplesslife.com.